This segment brought to you by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
We're back. Now we learn about insect growth regulators with Kyle Bauer and Warren McDougal.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer. I'm visiting with Warren McDougal. He's with Central Life Sciences, and they do a lot of insect prevention work. And I want to call your product for grain an insecticide, but that's actually not correct.
No, it's not. It's actually an insect growth regulator. It works by impeding the insect's ability to go from a larval stage to an adult. So, I kind of kid around saying it's kind of like birth control for bugs. I mean, once you have no new adults, you're not going to create additional eggs, new larvae. So you break that insect life cycle.
And truly, we try to clean out the bins and try to make sure that we don't have the insects inside, but they're going to get in, and the amount of reproductive ability of those insects is just staggering.
Oh, it's unreal. Just for an example, one Indian meal moth, her progeny, within 180 days at ideal temperatures, can exceed 1 billion eggs laid in 180 days.
And your product doesn't treat a problem, it prevents a problem.
Correct. It's all preventive. You're trying to put it in or on grain to maintain the quality of that grain so you don't get an insect infestation within that grain.
The thing that I think is interesting on your product as well is that it's not terribly expensive.
No, it runs about 2 cents a bushel on average. Here again, depending on the rate, the formulation, it might be as much as 5 cents if folks are going to use a dry product, say for on-farm storage. But 2 to 5 is a reasonable range.
And normally, how would that be applied?
Well, generally, we do a lot of liquid applications where we're using water. We're putting 5 gallons of water that has the Diacon within it on 1,000 bushels of grain. That's the most preferred option, but we also have a dry product that is really kind of targeted at the on-farm market, where as they're unloading the trucks, they're loading that bin, they can throw a scoop into the auger pit every so often, with the goal of trying to get about 8 to 10 pounds of Diacon D per 1,000 bushel.
The thing is, when you put grain in the bin, sometimes we know how fast it's going to come out, but a lot of times we don't, because it depends on what the market is. Interestingly enough, with your product, it doesn't matter if it's been in there a short time or a long time.
That's correct. That's the neat thing about Diacon, is it lasts such a long time. Generally, we see at the right rate, we're going to get good insecticidal control for 18 to 24 months.
And if I treat it, the next guy doesn't really mind that it's been recently treated with your product.
No, we've got all the Codex approvals. In fact, Diacon is tolerance exempt from the EPA. It has no effect on a mammal because we're not an insect, and the thing that impacts in an insect is a juvenile hormone within that insect. So it's essentially benign to you and I.
So it makes it safe to handle.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very safe.
So there's a lot of different ways nowadays that we see that we're storing grain out here on the plains, whether it's in a bunker or flat storage or normal bins. Will it work in all those different situations?
It does. I mean, there are some situations where I think it's really a no-brainer. I mean, if you've got a facility that is difficult to fumigate, or it's difficult to turn that grain, Diacon really fits those situations, like flat storage, like bunkers that are being built. Even, we're seeing the popularity of the tube type storage. It would make it ideal within that to help protect that grain while it's in those tubes sitting along the edge of the field.
We're visiting with Warren McDougal. He's with Central Life Sciences. We've been talking about their product, Diacon. This is Kyle Bauer reporting. Back to you, Jamie.
Thanks, Kyle. Come back after this break for this week's Kansas Farm Bureau update.
Mark your calendars for Tuesday, March 26th in Beloit, where the first ever Stock Growers Field Day will be held by K-State Research and Extension, the Kansas Livestock Association, and the Kansas Bull Test. The event will be highlighted by a market outlook from Cattle Facts, as well as a presentation from well-known reproductive physiologist Dr. Rick Funston, where he speaks about increasing production efficiency. From there, we'll also play host to over 30 ag-based businesses in the trade show and enjoy breakout sessions where producers can listen to speakers on topics that apply directly to their operation. This event should cater to producers of all size and scale and offer a social aspect as well, so we look forward to seeing you there for the inaugural Stock Growers Field Day in North Central Kansas.